So France and New Zealand have both announced their lineup for their matchup this weekend, and in this video we'll be looking through at the sides and seeing how they stack up heading into that fixture. But we will start with the away side, New Zealand. They have just very recently announced their side, and quite a few changes compared to what we saw in their last match up against the Irish, in which they were able to get themselves an impressive victory. But jumping straight into it, number 1, Mighty Williams. Number 2, Cody Taylor, who does return from his head knock that he did get in the game up against England. And number 3, Tyrell Lomax. So just that one change in the front row. Safuamua moves from the starting side back to the bench. In the locking duo, no changes from what we've seen up against the English as well as Ireland. Number 4, Scott Barrett, and number 5, Tupovai. In the loose forward trio, this is where we get to see some switches, and it is one that I have been calling for since the very start of the November internationals, and I didn't actually think we were going to get to see it. But because of that Sam Cane injury, it's now opened the perfect opportunity and the perfect way of making it happen. Number 6, Samapeni Finau. Number 7, Ardie Savea. And number 8, Wallace Satiti. Now, Satiti has been playing brilliantly in their number 6 jersey, had a blinder up against Japan at number 8, but Ardie Savea at 7, that is something that some people felt we were never going to see again for the All Blacks. But now that Sam Cane's out, like I said, they had Peter Lakai, they had Duplessis Karefi, but instead Savea now does get that start in the back line. Number 9, Cam Roigard, and number 10, Beauden Barrett. So they have decided to make the 2 switches from what we saw last week. Barrett's last game up against the English, he also suffered a head knock for that contest, so he was missing from the game last week up against Ireland. Now comes straight back into the starting lineup. In the midfield combination, it is Jordie Barrett at number 12, Enrico Ioane at number 13. Number 11, they have stuck with Caleb Clark. There was never really going to be a chance of a switch there. Definitely with the injury of Mark Talia. He was ruled out earlier on in the week. We saw the inclusion of Che Fiaki, but he is not who they've got out on that right wing. Instead, going back to Sevu Reece, another Crusader. He hasn't had the best 2024 in an All Blacks kit, but perhaps this game could be the difference maker. Number 15, Will Jordan, close out this All Blacks side in terms of the starting lineup, but there is still a bench, and it is stacked for this matchup. Number 16, Safuamua. Number 17, Ofa Tuangafasi, which means that is now 4 games in a row that we haven't seen Ethan Negru. At number 18, Pasilio Tosi. But that Tuangafasi and Pasilio Tosi combination, it has been working extremely well for New Zealand, so there's no need to reshuffle it now. Instead, sticking with the same. Number 19, Patrick Tuipulotu, and number 20, Peter Lakai. Now, he got the chance up against the Japanese off the bench. There were even rumours that that man may have been starting in this game, but with that Savea switch to 7, it means instead Lakai will make his way off the bench. Number 21, Cortez Ratama. Number 22, Anton Leonard-Brown. And number 23, Damian McKenzie. So a nice mix of experience and inexperience off the bench for the All Blacks. And of course, everyone's question is what's going to happen in that last 20 minutes. Will the All Blacks be able to find their rhythm and continue the momentum that they can create throughout the first 60? Or just like during the Rugby Championship, will the bench struggle and not be able to get them back on the front foot? But moving on to looking through at this French side. Now, they did announce their team maybe about an hour before New Zealand did, and they've got some massive injury exclusions, which I think give New Zealand a really good shot up against them in this match. But in the front row, it is Jean-Baptiste Grue at number 1, Pieto Malvaka at 2. Now, I would have absolutely loved to see him versus a Safuamua. I feel like they're both pretty similar in the way that they play, but Malvaka versus Taylor, still going to be an awesome head-to-head that we do get to see. Number 3, they have got Tavita Tatafu. Now, it was confirmed a little bit earlier on in the week that there was going to be no Yui Antonio for this game. A massive hit for the French, but pretty good news for New Zealand overall. But Tatafu versus Williams in those scrums, it's going to be 2 massive men going face to face. It's going to be interesting to see who gets that physical advantage. In the locking duo, it is Flamand as well as Emmanuel Miafu. as the number 5. In the loose forward trio, Bodian comes in as the number 6. That is due to an injury that we saw last week up against Japan. Number 7, Ruma, whose name I may be mispronouncing, and number 8, Gregory Aldrit. Now, he out of the loose forwards is the one who concerns me the most, looking at it from a New Zealand standpoint. He is brilliant in the breakdown, brings that physicality, and also has a great running game to go. Alongside it at number 9, the captain, Antoine Dupont. Everyone has talked about how strong of a player that man is and how great he has been over the last few years. He is a game changer. And it's him versus Roygaard in this matchup. One that maybe wasn't going to be possible had it not been for Roygaard recovering from his injury during the Super Rugby season. And now we get to see it. Arguably the best 9 in the world up against one of the most promising 9s on the World Rugby circuit today as well. At number 10, it is Thomas Ramos. So actually playing as fly half rather than in that fullback jersey where we have seen him in the past. Out on the left wing, it is Louis Belbari. He is an outstanding finisher, and with Severis not being in the best form, this is going to be a great test for him to see if he can handle Belbari out there. In the midfield, Mofana and Galfiku. Then out on the right wing, Gabin Villiers, another injury replacement for the French, and number 15, Romain Bureau to close out this French lineup. Off the bench, Julien Marchand, Reda Wardi, and Colombe. At number 18, Romain Tolfafanua as the number 19. I'm surprised that they didn't decide to start him in this game, but it could be a little bit similar to what we're seeing with the All Blacks and Tui Pelotu having that experienced head off the bench. Later on, Gilliard at number 20 and number 21, Charles Olivon. So they have gone with the 6-2 split in this game, Le Bleu, something that New Zealand did not opt to do. Number 22, it is Le Garrick back for the French, and number 23, Galetton to close out this French lineup. But those are the teams. Two strong sides, both want to win this contest. It is a rematch of a group stage fixture in the Rugby World Cup, and of course, just like that game, we are going to have a preview for this one as well, so be sure to keep an eye out for that coming soon. But thank you all very much for tuning in. Do, of course, let me know what you think of these lineups in the comments down below, and if you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you all for the next one.